Hey guys, I just wanted to do my review of Supergirl Season 1, Episode 18, World's Finest, a long-awaited crossover in which the Girl of Steel meets the Scarlett Speedster himself. The episode starts off continuing from where Manhunter left off 2 weeks ago, in which Saban survived her fall from her sonic scream. She's taken to the DEO by Wynn, and the doctor takes a blood sample figure out how she was able to survive their fall. They just said she explains it with the sonic scream, but she has no traces of alien or metahuman DNA. She's tested positive for just having human DNA, so they're not sure what it is. I mean, which is implied later on. It was just magic. And so Saban, who's frustrated, starts to storm out of the DEO, realizing that nobody can help her or figure out what's wrong with her, and then she starts getting headaches and, callings about, and, they're like little flashes on the screen of her banshee persona, and then she just walks out and notices Livewire in her glass prison talking to Lucy Lane, questioning if she's responsible for, putting, incapacitating guards. She's escorted out. And Kara and Kat are having this discussion about how Kara has cleared his feelings for James, and Kat encourages just to play hard to get in order to win him back, since he was being more distant since the events of falling. And of course Kara's also frustrated that she hasn't been able to win back the city's respect after the events of that episode as well. And so eventually Saban goes to Catco and attacks Kara with her sonic scream, sending her flying out the window. And just in the nick of time, the Flash comes through a dimensional barrier from out in the fields, runs all the way to the National City and catches Kara before she falls and brings her back out into the fields. They do the whole shirt catching on fire gag where he has to almost touches her boobs to try to put her out, touches her chest, almost put it out, and he's just like, no. She's about to fly back to National City in her Supergirl outfit. She sees the Flash running, following her, and then they introduce themselves, and Flash realizes that he's accidentally traveled to her Earth, and he's wearing a tachyon device on his chest. It has been confirmed by Greg Berlanti and Andrew Kreisberg. It's going to be explained in tomorrow's episode of The Flash, how he got there. So basically they get to know one another. And this is what's great about this episode. They have incredible chemistry. Grant Gustin and Melissa Benoist. They're just so kind of this happy-go-lucky and just excited about being superheroes, that they really play off each other well, to the point where even James is showing jealousy, and there's little references to past Flash episodes, to where he's trying to Barry explains the whole multiverse theory to the gang, and it's of course that clip you probably saw if you saw my reaction video about when asking about evil doppelganger Earth, and Barry saying, "Yeah, I've just been there. It sucked." And Barry explaining his origins, and also being introduced to Cat Grant, who wants to call the new superhero the Blur, the Red Streak, and Barry suggests to call him the Flash, and he doesn't want to be, and he says that he, or the Flash, doesn't want to be considered a sidekick or competition, just an equal. And there's also this meta joke that she says about how they look like the cast of a racially diverse CW show, and Kat says don't talk to anybody about about Kara, about the incident about surviving the attack with Saban, who goes to see her aunt, who's running a magic shop, and she explains that her powers are the result of a curse. Their ancestor had a run-in with a banshee years ago, and that the only way to fight off the curse is basically to kill the object of their hatred, which in her case is Kara, and that's the only way to not give, not like lose her soul to the Banshee powers and whatnot. So that's why. So they don't say how, but somehow she uses her powers to break Livewire out of prison off screen. She proposes the team up, and that's when Livewire suggests you put on like a costume and like the wig and makeup, which is, it's comic book accurate, but it's sort of a little bit iffy to me. And that's when they had the fight between the two of them fight Supergirl and the Flash. Barry was able to track them down to the warehouse because of the algorithm he came up with to find them, but they end up having to retreat and use like the spinning arms, like windmill, wind trick and freeze breath to kind of hold them off and retreat. And Supergirl expresses her frustration to Barry about the Red K incident and how she's lost the city's trust, and Barry says how he went through a similar thing, which has happened on The Flash vs. Arrow from season 1, and how she has to give it time. And also there's this is mentioned on James Olsen's side plot from being jealous and feeling like he can't help. Lucy Lane talks to him saying that, instead of saying just stop playing hard to get, just say just to go for it and don't hold back for her sake, because she realizes that they were never going to work out in the end, and that it wasn't Superman or Supergirl that was coming in the way of their relationship. So in order to fight off the sonic screams, Barry uses the earplugs he used against Pied Piper after Livewire and Silver Banshee kidnap Cat Grant, and Wynn fails to talk Silver Banshee down out of the whole plot. And so they go into another battle in which Barry's ends up getting incapacitated by Livewire, and Livewire is about to shoot down a helicopter with her electrokinesis, and then Supergirl takes the blast, and like all of a sudden it's like the fact that she's down on the ground, it creates this moment where all of a sudden the citizens of National City who are like witnessing the whole thing just surround her, saying, you heard Supergirl, you mess with us too, which I'll get into more of that later. But it basically, and then she's about to unleash like a full blast of electricity on the whole crowd. The firemen from the 2 episodes ago like spray her with the hose, and they ends up electrocuting both Livewire and Silver Banshee, and they're incapacitated. And Kara tells Kat that she's able to. She wanted to go see Barry off, and she acknowledges that she knew that Barry was the Flash because both the Flash showed up in Central City, Barry showed up in Central City. He's the one who kept insisting on what he should be named, and it was pretty. And again, this is what I like about this character. She is not an idiot. She is what I call genre savvy, and I mean, I guess you would think that. And she says, I can spot, and she makes this ironic line saying, I can spot the ordinary acting, the extraordinary disguising himself as the ordinary like that. But Kara had John Jones acting as her doppelganger to throw off the suspicions. So, but anyway, I'm growing like this character more and more as this show's going on. So anyway, they decided to have like a little race, and Barry gets the idea from season 2 episode 11, from the Reverse Flash Returns episode, that if they run at the same time, that they can open up a portal that leads back to Flash's Earth. which you get sort of like a mini. The race doesn't really get completed, but it does work. And James comes over to the house, comes over to Kara's apartment, and and Kara decides to stop playing hard again. And just they have their kiss, but then James goes into this trance, and then Kara looks out her window to see like all of like several national city citizens like walking in this like trance, like, and apparently it's part of Nan's myriad plan, which I guess like hypnotizes the city, and it's not really explained, but I guess it's supposed to be a cliffhanger leading into like this, I guess, the last 2 episodes of the season. Overall, I think this is a show that pretty much lived up to the hype for me, unlike, Batman versus Superman, in which, I liked the movie, but it was just sort of underwhelming. And of course, and not just because, that has flaws. I mean, my biggest problem with the episodes were, I guess, like a silver banshee costume, the fact that the whole national city citizens wanting to protect Kara all of a sudden, like, that one was kind of cheesy, and they seemed kind of, like, out of, like, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man, and it seems sort of sudden, and it's like, it just seems kind of ironic to me. It just seems kind of poetic. It seems to be the theme for Superman characters, and Batman v Superman, and on this show where it's like the alien messiah-like figure that everybody feels like live in fear of and are questioning if, or consider like loose cannons, like they have to like die or nearly die in order to basically to silence critics and basically be universally loved again. But again, like it seemed like very sudden, and I thought that would have like played out for like a couple more episodes. But it kind of sucked, that Barry was taken out of the fight, and also taken out of the fight, and also they also mentioned that Barry was able to come up with a way to have like metahumans being held in local prisons, like on his Earth, which in the short time he's been there, he's probably been there for like maybe like a couple days. So I don't know like how that works, but anyway, overall, those are my negatives. The positives were the chemistry between Barry and Kara, the references back to the Flash episodes, just like the villain team, the villain team up is cool. The fight scenes are pretty cool. Like the different use of their powers. I give it a 9 out of 10. And it's definitely one of my favorite episodes of the season, aside from Fallen. And definitely like a team up that, like I said, lived up to the hype. I mean, what do you guys think of? What do you guys think of this episode? How does this compare to Batman v Superman? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care.